I haven't advocated for anybody going after personal jobs. I think if you're going to host something on something like Wix, that's a targeted thing that's breaking their terms of service, I think that's fair game.
Nick Comrade Calandra joined Side Scrollers to discuss why he wasn't a big fan of Stuttering Craig starting his own Game Awards show, because apparently it's not okay if an individual wants to start their own Game Awards show. It has to be from a big corporation.
But Nick, let me ask you, John points this out, right? He says, make your own thing, but when we do make our own thing, we get criticism for it, right? So like...
well, it's the same song and dance. It's like, oh, wait, you're making something, but I can't be included on it? Now I have a problem with it.
And that's just the beginning of the hypocrisy. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Nick Calandra, for whatever reason, decided to join Side Scrollers and discuss why he wasn't a big fan of Stuttering Craig starting his own Game Awards show. So, before I go too far with this video, I want to actually give credit where it's due. Where some could argue it takes a lot of pride to come on to a show that typically has a very diverse and different standpoint from your own, which is exactly what Nick Calandra did when he joined the Side Scrollers podcast. With Stuttering Craig, Blabs, and Melanie Mack, the three of them all held a very similar standpoint and view in regards to all the drama that's been transpiring against the actions of one Nick Calandra. And Nick wanted to go on the show and, I guess, set the record straight and let everyone know why they're all wrong about him. But if anything, all it did was reinforce just how awful of a human being this guy really is.
So I think if you're going to host something on something like Wix, that's a targeted thing that's breaking their terms of service, I think that's fair game.
Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down why Nick Calandra just continues to show everyone why he's an absolute cancer to the entire video game community.
I've never said Smash JT's list is a hit list. Do I think it's a targeted list? Yes.
Appearing on the Side Scrollers podcast, Nick Calandra of Second Wind attempted to address his ongoing disagreements and clashes with the gaming community. He ended up embarrassing himself by drowning in constant hypocrisy. What began as an attempt to clarify stances turned into a spectacle of how someone could even further tarnish his reputation. Nick's performance on the show not only failed to bridge any gaps, but also amplified criticisms against him. And also, let me make it clear as well, because I saw a lot of people in the comments section during this live stream asking to bring me on to talk to him as well, because trust me, I have a lot of questions that I would love to ask him specifically directly to his face and just see how he squirms, which he was doing quite a bit of squirming on this live stream. But this is one of the stipulations that Nick Calandra had with joining Side Scrollers. He said he did not want me to be a part of it because he felt like it might be piling on him if just so many people that disagree with him and hold a different standpoint from him, that he'd feel like he was getting piled on, and he didn't want that kind of environment. And you know what? A part of me can kind of understand that and see where he's coming from with that. But at the same time, Stuttering Craig offered to have him on with just me. And he said maybe, and then changed his mind to no randomly because apparently people were sending him mean messages. I don't even know. That has nothing to do with anything, but this is Nick Calandra we're talking about, where rationality and logic has no place in his world.
Let us be the first to call the people that targeted them out, because we don't want that. We don't want anybody targeted. If anybody gets doxxed, if anybody gets calls for violence, nobody wants that. And that's the thing you need to be.
We're not asking people to fight us in real life.
Right.
That's a big difference.
Yeah. Fight us, bitch. Right? Like nobody's going out of their way to say that. As a matter of fact, we're saying the exact opposite of that.
Well, that's what those are comments you pulled out of context on me that said I wanted to fight people in real life for opposing wokeness. That was never true.
Well, I think you're referencing to was it a video Smash did? Something along those lines, but
yeah.
Nick's approach to the discussion appeared detached from reality. It was baffling to see him downplay the increasingly politically active nature of game development in the past decade or so. For someone who supposedly is so entrenched in the industry, his ignorance from the shift was glaring. And then Nick tries to argue that people are claiming he's woke instead of what he claims to be moderate. The same guy that aligns himself very strongly with the left and focuses on all his attacks on people who don't agree with him. Apparently, in his own mind, he is not with the left. If you can make sense of that, please let me know, because I am really struggling with that one.
Because people keep calling me woke. I've always maintained I'm moderate.
The conversation took a turn for the worse when Nick started talking about the job losses in the industry. The video game industry has been a very turbulent place over the past couple years, and many people would have their heart go out for it and say it sucks, this is terrible, job losses in the industry. We need to work to see what's going on, what the rationale behind it is, and how to fix that so it doesn't keep happening. Where Nick's approach was...
That's the thing, is people that are working for these companies are literally being fired if they express anything that isn't under this whole woke ideology umbrella.
People are losing their jobs anyways. And the reason why a lot of this woke ideology is forced into games right now is because that is all that is allowed to those are the only opinions that are allowed in the gaming industry right now. So to say, oh, why aren't you making your own thing? They're trying. They can't, because they're getting fired just for having an opinion or for voting for somebody that wasn't approved of by whatever the narrative is. There's tens of thousands of indie studios. Why can't people that disagree with that make their own studio?
And I get it. He was very stressed and squirmy because he wasn't comfortable. But this actually exposed him for his true feelings, because he was under a microscope and he didn't know how to answer. When he could just have a very basic human response, he went with anything but.
Why can't somebody just compete with Blizzard right now?
I mean, former Blizzard developers are trying to.
Yeah, they're trying, but to say that, that's just completely, you're dismissing the fact that what we're saying is that a lot of existing gamers are being pushed out of the hobby, and because, well, why aren't you starting your own studio and beating these billion-dollar companies?
And you would think that would be like the worst of it, but no, I would argue it goes far worse. Not just hypocrisy, but diving deeper into how he handled his allegations regarding his conduct on Discord, accusations of him seeking out personal information, believing unverified rumors for grums and then reporting on them, and then rather than addressing any of them head on, Nick deflected and shifted the goalposts, refusing to acknowledge any wrongdoing or even disavow those, contacting people's workplaces. This is the same guy that said go after their funding sources, and then when Stuttering Craig called him out on it and said, what did you actually mean by that? Do you stand by that? Is this okay with you? Nick squirmed and then evaded and then changed the subject.
When you say you need to go after people's sources of their income, what specifically do you mean? Because there have been people who have taken what you've said and taken that very literally and gone after people, made phone calls to people's jobs and taken things that you've said very literally, right? So for you being upset about the way we speak, hello, pot, meet kettle, right? Because there are people who take things that you say. Should you be responsible for their actions?
No, I wouldn't say so. I don't put the creators specifically in chart in people. Yeah, sorry, tongue twister there. I don't put creators specifically responsible for what their audiences do, because we all have major audiences.
It was interesting how Nick refused to criticize anyone in his group of friends, the circle of trust that he's a part of, specifically Alyssa Mercante. When it came to her poor reporting on Sweet Baby Inc. and Craig taking him to task on this, Nick responded with, "Oh, I don't know enough about that to comment on it," which is really fascinating because he certainly doesn't know a lot about anything, and he doesn't hesitate to comment on what he wants when he has an agenda to push.
When we speak out against this stuff, we're being called bigots, we're being called haters, we're having people like Alyssa say, fight me in real life. So yeah, it's
you don't see that as antagonistic?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I absolutely do. I wish it would all stop.
What have you done to check her on Twitter? Have you done anything to call her out and let her know how unnecessary that is? Okay, because once again, even with this, she's She's poking the bear again. The moment a straight white male feels the world isn't about him for a few minutes, he starts braying about taking back a space. The feebleness of a mind like that, the crippling insecurity that eats away at you. Fascinating. That means their entire world is homogenistic, or their friends, the space they inhabit, their work lives. What a sad, gray, miserable life this must be.
And that's crazy because even with what you're saying with this, you've not mentioned race or anything like that. We care about the gamers, and that's the thing is gamers do come from a variety of backgrounds and different races, this, that, and the other. So for her to automatically be antagonistic on the straight white male, this, that, and the other, that's all on her. And this is what we're met with constantly when we say something. It's like, oh, well, you're a bigot. Oh, it's because you're white. Oh, it's because you're straight. And we're sick of it. And also, when we were more, I think people are just a little more on edge and gatekeeping a bit more, because it's like, look what happened to the gaming industry in general. Look what happened with mainstream video games in general right now. And that's because a lot of us were just, oh yeah, let's let everybody in. This is great. And then activists have taken over, and that's reflected in video games. We're seeing remakes, remasters, this, that, and the other of some of our favorite things that are being censored and that are changing our favorite characters beyond recognition. So they're pushing us out. And so there's a level of boldness that we still have to have, and not for the sake of wanting to fight people, especially not in real life. But we're sick of this. We're sick of being pushed out of our own hobby that we've been supporting for so long.
If not for double standards, he would not have any standards at all. While he's quick to condemn others, Nick seemed unwilling to hold his own allies to the same standards.
I mean, I'm not gonna do the whole defend Alyssa, defend this, defend that.
This inconsistency did not go unnoticed by the audience, many of who were very vocal in their disapproval throughout the chat. I had a ton of people mentioning how they wanted me to join, and I was hanging out waiting for the invite. I would have happily jumped on, but that moment never came, because here's the thing. Nick knows deep down that he's in the wrong. His position is completely immoral, unjustified, and just abhorrent. And that's not an opinion. That's something that is proven factual by his hypocrisy over and over again throughout this. But Nick doesn't want to be called to task on that. Instead, he just wants to evade and push his narrative, propaganda, and agenda like he always does.
We took down a GitHub page that had created a straight up hit list of people in the industry with goals to exercise them and all this other bullshit. So we took that list down.
The problem with people like Nick is their tendency to lump individuals into groups alongside bad fringe actors. Like, he was taking the perspective of, he wanted to take down SmashJT.com because apparently something completely unrelated that I had no idea about, that there's some bad actor out there that was making a list of targeting people, and they got involved with that to get it taken down, and then my list showed up apparently the next day, and I guess his brain connected the two and thought that I had something to do with that. I don't know, but I don't know what he was even referring to or talking about, because it has nothing to do with me. My site I was actually working on for weeks before I launched it live. The whole Kotaku detected and the efforts that I put into it, it didn't just appear overnight. And I feel like his brain made the connection of, oh, now Smash JT did it. He must have just whipped this together in a couple minutes and published it. Like, that's not how this stuff works, Nick.
So once again, you feel like this list on SmashJT.com, this Kotaku detected list, you see this as a hit list?
No. I said there was another user, his username on Twitter is like Synquisition or something like that. He made a GitHub page that had a whole list of people with like this whole religious doctrine to exercise us and all that. And then when we dug into who it was, like a traveling nomad, this dude was not right in the head. So we got that taken down, and almost at the same time, as soon as we got that taken down, then Kotaku Detected popped up with a lot of the same people on that list. I've never said Smash JT's list is a hit list. Do I think it's a targeted list? Yes, but I don't think he's trying to get anybody killed. I think it's targeted to half of the links on there are just things he disagrees with. It's not even like things that people did in the industry.
Overall, I share the opinion and perspective of Blabs and Melanie Mack, who consistently said towards the end of it how they feel like it was a circular conversation and didn't really go anywhere. Nick didn't really address his concerns with transparency or accountability. He came across as extremely arrogant and conceited. He failed to engage with the community's criticisms and had blatant double standards over and over again throughout, reinforcing negative perceptions surrounding him. Hopefully, Nick will someday recognize the importance of integrity and consistency throughout public discord, but as it stands right now, it looks like Nick is exactly who we all thought he was, and some might even argue worse than we thought. I'm going to leave it there. Thanks again to Side Scrollers for having Nick on. This was if anything, entertaining conversation, extremely engaging, and really a lot of diverse opinions getting thrown out there. It was what YouTube feels like the old school days of what it was all about. If you guys appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. If you would like to participate in Stuttering Craig's The Real Game Awards show, I will put a link in the description below for that as well. For $30 a year, you can vote in the Gamers Award show that he's putting together. And I think, after initial hesitation with this thing, I've been thinking a lot more about it, and I love the idea of a Game Award show by gamers for gamers. I think that's exactly what the game industry is forgetting. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
Well, because there are indie games out there, well, what about some of our favorite mainstream properties? Are we not allowed to care about those anymore?
No, I'm not saying that either. Halo is one of my favorite properties. It's been taken to the ground, shot multiple times. But right. I think, I think that's what happens with franchises that run for 20, 30 years. You get new people working on them. They come in with new perspectives. Things change.
But that shouldn't be happening, and that's our problem. And we're speaking out against that because, hey, if they're going to continue a loved franchise, then they need to be hiring people who care about it and who want to continue it and make it great.